And we're back with the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC. The show is being brought to you by Fearless Social, also Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers, where Walmart is next door to us, and Poplar Bluff Drywall. What we're doing right now is we got Sabrina in the studio, and we're reviewing the brand new Insidious movie. This one's called Insidious Chapter 3. And Sabrina?
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You look lovely. I love the red shirt you have on.
Thank you.
You're getting ready to review this new flick. Have you seen the previous two before we get started with the third one?
Have I seen the previews?
The previous two.
Oh, sorry.
Previous two.
I have, and I'm kind of hooked on the whole series. Mm-hmm. Not because it's like the greatest series in the entire world, but just because I actually respect the type of movie making that they're doing with this series. It's not mockumentary style, found footage or any of that kind of stuff. So,
right.
You and I both agree on that. We're kind of sick of that kind of genre of horror, and so this is almost like a knockback to the way they did things in the old days before CGI. So, and I love that. I love the fact that everything is actually a real person.
So, remind me, the first two have to do with a particular family. Is that correct?
The connecting of the dots is actually the medium, Elise. She's in all three movies.
But the family that was in the first one, were they in the second one?
No.
They weren't?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
The second one was I haven't reviewed it obviously in a long time, and I have it's a kind of a gray area between. Okay. But I remember so very well the first one and obviously the third one. I don't know exactly that I could give you a good solid story between the second one. Okay.
All right. So tell us about this third one right here. What's going on?
So the third one, Elise is contacted by a young girl whose mother has passed away, and she's sad, and she wants to see if she can talk to her. And so she's like a senior in high school, and she just she was died a couple of years ago, kind of thing. So it's still a little bit fresh. Dad's got a hard time dealing with having a daughter and a younger son who's probably junior high age, and he's just hard to get out of bed and get to do things. And so he relies on the daughter to be the mom of the household. And the daughter's just ready to graduate and go follow her dreams to be an actress and all kinds of stuff. Well, she visits Elise, and this is early on in the movie, and Elise says, I don't do this anymore. And she had a really bad experience in the last movie. And there's a white-faced, black-dressed woman spirit that has come from the other movies, and they're attached to Elise. And that's kind of important to know because she's afraid of her. Mm-hmm. And because of her, she says, I won't help you. I can't do it. Well, the girl leaves, and she has a vision. Elise has a vision. Well, then the story continues. By the time they reunite, the girl has been attacked by something that has attached itself to her after meeting with Elise. The girl gets hit by a car. You see this in the trailers. I'm not giving anything away here. She gets hit by a car. She's in 2-leg casts. She's wheelchair bound. She can't move around. And there is an entity that is attached to her and trying to, kill her and all kinds of stuff.
So that's the fun aspect of this horror flick. So you gave us kind of the general details of this flick. Was it scary?
Yes. I like the peekaboo type of scary, where you have darkness and then all of a sudden a face comes into focus, or you see background and all of a sudden you realize that's not a chair, that's a person, and it moves, and it's like it's in plain sight and you don't know it's there until it disappears. And that's one of my favorite ways to scare and to haunt and all that kind of stuff, and I love it when they can successfully do it in the movies.
I remember when they did in the first one. I mean, that scared the bejesus out of me.
You call it the Darth Maul
It's
thing.
The Darth Maul guy, man. Basically, they were like
you got goosebumps, don't you?
It was in the broad daylight, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And they're like at a table eating or something.
Yes.
All of a sudden, they see
he
pops
comes
up,
into focus.
Darth Maul's alive again. And he's there, and just out of nowhere, and it just scares the bejesus out of you. I thought that was so well done.
They continue to do it in all the other movies. They just pop out of nowhere. There's one scene in this movie that the girl is on her bed, and she's leaned over the edge because she's spotted this entity, and she's looking over the edge of the bed. And, that's the old trick. Look over the side of the bed, and is it going to pop out and grab you? Well, it doesn't. She leans back up, and she looks around, and about that time, it reaches down from the ceiling, grabs her, flips her in the air, and throws her off the bed. And I have seen this online where I was, slowly going through it, trying to see the wires, trying to see the tricks. It is so clear and so precise, and it is just something right out of that world. It was just perfectly executed, and I like trying to break it apart, and I can't. And it's not CGI. There's not a bit of it in this movie.
Well, sometimes, and I don't mean to burst your bubble. Sometimes they do have wires and they CGI.
Oh, I know they have wires and stuff. I just meant that I couldn't tear it apart even in slowing it down frame by frame.
I'm just saying sometimes they CGI them out.
Oh, well, right.
Okay.
But they were showing a behind-the-scenes look at it.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was looking at, was a behind-the-scenes look at it. And even then, I was like, oh, my God, that's freaking awesome.
So I only got a chance to watch about 10 minutes of this third installment, and it's kind of slow a little bit, kind of getting into things. But one thing that kind of got under my skin just a bit was a little bit of the acting. I thought, what did you think of the dad's performance done by Dermot Mulroney, I think is his name? I thought he was a little bit overacting a little bit. And he's actually a good actor, too.
Yeah, I think that it was just a little... I think it was a little weakly directed on his part. But I think it was only in the beginning. By the end of it, you see this... He's a very two-dimensional character. His part is to come across as, I don't have time to deal with your nonsense. I need you to take care of your brother.
Right.
I can't deal with this. Your mom's not here to do it for me, and I'm hurting, but I can't tell you why. And they have a nice little moment where she's like, but Dad, something's attacking me. I thought it was Mom trying to contact me. You're not listening to me. And he's like, she says, don't you even miss her? And he says, every time I look at you.
Wow.
And then he walks away, and so there is some depth.
Yeah.
It just takes a while to get to his.
Well, I will say that I thought the girl, played by Stephanie Scott, who I guess is a newcomer, I thought she was very, very
She does a
talented.
great job. Yeah.
I thought she was talented. So overall, if you are listening, you're a fan of the horror genre, would you recommend this to the horror people out there?
I would, and I would encourage them to open their eyes to the traditional makeup, the traditional effects, the traditional style of haunted horror, this kind of stuff. Because it isn't cut, slice, gore, cussing, nudity. It's none of that other stuff.
That's
that
why I
seems
didn't
to be
like it.
so prevalent in the horror genre now. I mean, it's to me, it's a simpler style, more like what you probably got back in the black and white era. I mean, it's to me, it's more traditional style, but I really do like it.
Good.
Yeah, you can see the makeup, but I thought that was phenomenal myself.
That's great. Sabrina, great job. Thank you for your review here. We have more reviews coming up after the break on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.